Jackson, how much do you think that you've grown as a player from last year, having your time in Santa Cruz and then being around the team as well throughout the playoffs?
I think I've grown a lot, to be honest, and watching our main guys, Jimmy, Steph, Dre, learning from them. It's like experience that nobody else can get in the world, so I'm just taking advantage of it.
Ron Krejcik from the San Francisco Chronicle. What specifically do you learn from Jimmy? I mean, he's kind of a unique character, unique player.
Yeah.
Now that he's here to start a training camp, I mean, you had some time with him, like you mentioned. How did he sort of shape you?
I think his mentality. Jimmy comes in. He was coming into the season last year, and he didn't really know anybody, but he took advantage of his opportunity as soon as he got on the court and just being himself. That's all we can be is when we get on the court is to show Steve and show the organization what we bring to the table. And I think as soon as Jimmy got here, he did that, and that's a mentality thing I think I took with me.
Just what's the biggest difference have you seen between last year with Jimmy and this year with Jimmy? Him having a full, I guess, him being able to have a full training camp with you guys, be here from the start.
Yeah, I think it's the confidence, the chemistry. That all that stuff matters. Playing with Steph is very unique, and you have to know where he's at on the court at all times. And once everything started to click, we were looking like a very good team before the injury. So, we have the personnel to get the job done this year, I think, and. Yeah, it's just really about chemistry and that confidence between Dre, Steph, and Jimmy.
Just what was your offseason like? What were your main priorities? And did you get to travel or anything like that as well throughout the summer?
Yeah, we're just in here working mostly like dogs as usual. And Jimmy invited us up to his house in San Francisco, so that was a good experience to have with the team. And yeah, we're just kind of building chemistry, getting ready for the season.
What were some things you took away from Summer League?
Summer League, just being able to continue to show the organization what I can do. I felt like I did a good job of doing that, especially watching the playoffs and seeing what we were missing, especially against that Minnesota series. And just trying to fit that mold, kind of develop into that piece that can help the Warriors win more championships.
Could you elaborate on that in terms of like what you guys were missing in the Minnesota series?
Yeah, we weren't spreading the floor as well, shooting it as well. So, I mean, I'm a guy who can come in and knock down open shots. But obviously with guys hurt, it's unfortunate. But like I said, we have the personnel to get it done, and we have everything we need.
You mentioned you went to Jimmy's house. We all know Jimmy's big hobby is coffee. So what do you think of his coffee? Do you drink it? Are you a coffee connoisseur?
I am a coffee connoisseur. That was one of the things I mentioned to Jimmy. I was like, if I come over there, man, I got to try the coffee. And he's like, come on through. And that coffee does not disappoint. It really is really good. Yeah.
Anything else?
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jack.
So, question for you. How nervous are you right now?
Feels like one of those scenes where like a famous celebrity has to apologize and all those cameras are in the front, but I'm not that nervous. I feel like just be yourself and you guys won't ask too many hard questions, so we'll be fine.
Is there anything you would like to apologize for now?
Probably a bit of trash talk in the past that probably went too far, but nothing else.
Alex, Sam Gordon, San Francisco Chronicle. Good to see you. How was your off season after Summer League? What did that look like? What kind of things do you focus on, and how do you feel going into the training camp?
Yeah, it was good. Was kind of carrying a bit of injury through pre-draft and Summer League, so trying to sort that out and get back on top of that and look after my body. But overall, just kind of reset and try and get familiar with the system and get to know your teammates a bit better, and then obviously work on your craft and be a better basketball player as well.
What was that injury, and when did you feel like you kind of got through it?
Just a bit of some tendonitis, bit of stuff with my knee, and then I think just kind of lingered a little bit around, but definitely getting on top of that now.
Alex, Ron Krajcik from the San Francisco Chronicle. Any Jimmy Butler stories? Anything you've learned playing alongside him? Maybe different than what you expected?
Well, we went to his place in San Diego, and I learned that you can do quite a few things with a bit of money, and I don't know if I'd have that, but maybe one day something of the sort in Australia would be pretty nice.
What does preparation for your first NBA season look like, and how excited are you to get going?
I'm super excited. The preparation for me is just trying to get better each day and kind of look at this career as a journey, and it's obviously just the start, but kind of make sure when you look back at the end of the year, you feel like you gave it your all, and you tried to learn as much as you can, and you tried to grow bit by bit each day.
Being an Australian basketball, there's a lot of players, enough guys who played from Australia that have played basketball. Is there anybody that you particularly looked up to growing up that played basketball, and how does that seem to always be the fact that guys from Australia like to play basketball?
Yeah, I think I looked up to a lot of guys. My generation was kind of Patty Mills and Joe Ingles and Bogut and Aaron Baines. They're probably the biggest names. So definitely looking up to those guys. And then Joe Ingles is someone that I'm in contact with pretty frequently and just asking questions. And he's definitely a bit of a mentor to me. And similar position, similar play style. It's cool to have that. And then Patty as well, being able to meet him at the Boomers and the Olympic preparation too, and then as you guys all know, Andrew Bogut. I saw him last week actually for his first assistant coaching position, and he looked like he knew what he was doing. So I'm excited to see how he goes.
Have the front office told you kind of what to expect for the season? I imagine some time in Santa Cruz, just what that might play out like.
Yeah, they just kind of showed that commitment in me, and obviously drafting me is the first step in that, and having that belief, but they just want me to take it day by day, and there's no rush to be this good by this point. It's just getting better each day, and eventually being able to hopefully influence the main team and help the Warriors win a championship one day.
Are you an AFL fan at all?
I am a bit of an AFL fan.
What did you think of the grand final?
It was a big deal. I met some Australians the other day. There was a watch party in San Francisco somewhere, but the game was on a bit late to me. But my brother supports the team that won, so he was happy, but the rest of the family weren't too happy.
Did they ever try to get you to play? A lot of basketball players are going down from the U.S. to go play AFL. You ever think about staying home and doing that?
Not really. I definitely enjoy basketball more, but I think there's a big correlation between AFL and basketball, and there are a few AFL players that could have been successful NBA players but chose to stay and play at home, but maybe one day.
Back again, Alex. What are your thoughts on playing in the Bay Area? I mean, it seems to be one of the most, I would say, culturally diverse areas in the, certainly the United States, maybe in the world. So what are your thoughts about playing here?
It's such a great environment, and even just like watching the Valkyries games and the Summer League games we had, the fans show out. So I'm excited to feel that, and everyone's been super supportive, and it's been loud in there. So I'm excited to see what's coming with the next few games. Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Steph, I don't want to start with anything hugely tricky to answer, but just knowing that there's still fluctuation in this roster, knowing that we don't know when or if Jonathan's going to be coming in, just what's the mentality when you talk amongst yourselves? Like, hey, here's how we have to deal with this right now, or is it so natural that you have to have those discussions amongst yourselves?
No, we talk about it for sure. As the leaders on the team, you got to acknowledge what's going on. Don't make it more than what it is, other than a team trying to figure out the situation that's in front of us and the challenge that's in front of us. Knowing JK's situation, knowing the new faces that we're adding to the roster, like we talk about it every year going into a training camp of what it's going to take for that particular team to win. This is a little different just because you have a guy that's trying to figure out his situation, and we respect that process, and it's going to play out. And you know, when he's here, ready to work, like we expect him to be locked in on doing what he needs to do to help us win. So all those things you acknowledge, and you look forward to doing what we do as players and going out there and hooping. Like that's what it always boils down to, no matter how you get there.
Hey, Steph. Good seeing you again. Tell me, in the offseason, you went to a couple of Valkyries games. What was that like as far as getting to see the fans in a different perspective? And I think you mentioned even yourself that you guys normally are the base team, but now you have a sister team to root on.
It was awesome. I think they probably, surprised a lot of people with the way that they played and the level that they were winning and, making the playoffs in the first year. But the vibe and the atmosphere in here was awesome. I was traveling a little bit more than I thought, so I didn't get to as many games as I wanted to, but it was such an exciting experience from, the whole family. It was definitely a different vibe than, normal Chase Center that we're used to when we play, and that's a great thing, the summertime energy with a different product out there on the floor was great. So hopefully they are going to kick it up another notch next summer.
Were you able to jealous at all of the different kind of environment, given kind of that energy that they brought?
No, I think it's exactly how it's designed, which is perfect.
Steph, good to see you.
What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Good. When you have talked to Jonathan recently, what's the message you're trying to get across to him?
Negotiations are hard. We all know that. The idea of everybody's situation is a little different. Everybody can come up with whatever narrative they want to. It's how business kind of goes. Some things are pretty straightforward, some things aren't. This is definitely in the aren't conversation or category. But when he comes and he's here, he should be a professional and do exactly what he expects to do and take advantage of his opportunities to help us win. Like everybody who's in the locker room, that's what you're committed to do. And so I don't have any concerns that he'll approach it that way, and that's what we expect.
Steph, you're approaching a decade since your unanimous MVP season, and you're still playing at a very high level. How have you been able to evolve your game to sustain that level of production?
Just the work you put in, the love of the game, being around great people in this organization, and still keeping winning as the priority. And I'm blessed to still hopefully be in that situation for a couple more years.
Steph, how you doing?
I'm great, Ron. How you doing?
Good, thanks. This is your 17th year. I think you've said many times 16 was the goal because of your dad. What's the significance of that to you? And kind of piggybacking on the previous question, how has your off-season conditioning evolved as you've gotten into your mid and now sort of late 30s? I read something about it's more data-driven. How have you sort of changed the way you prepare for seasons?
The second question I answered first, just because it's evolved based on trying to be more efficient with the work that you get in and more intentional about how each day is kind of designed on court, off court. Probably the first decade was more on court than off court, and that's actually flipped now, where it's probably 60-40 off court to on court percentage now, and even that is, like you said, data driven on heart rate stuff, foot strikes, how long you're on your feet, like all those type of things that help monitor the output that you have over the summer, so that you're working smarter and coming into camp fresh, knowing that there's still a little bit of building to go. That's what training camp's for, but that I'm in pretty good shape where you're not putting your body through any type of unnecessary stress with that transition from off season to in season. And that's been fun to kind of try to figure out on the fly.
And one unrelated question, Jimmy being here from the start of training camp, obviously a much different scenario than what happened last year. Obviously that helps you guys. In what ways does it help? How significant can that be to have him right from the start?
I think first it helps him just as a human being, as a player, to have something that he knows, a situation he knows, based on how last year ended, how we do things, what he can help and continue to help us do at a high level. But then just have that clarity coming in, where we can have the conversations that we were having, in a very short span after the trade last year, and it's the way that we finished playing, or our record towards the end of the year, it was fun for all of us. So to kind of carry that momentum into a training camp, I think he's talked about just how happy he is to be in a space where he can just play basketball and there's not any noise around him. I think that's refreshing for him, and then that should carry over to our prep as a team.
Are you comfortable with how the roster, I guess I'll say, is going to look, and the process to get there?
I think with this last little piece that needs to settle, I think I'm extremely happy with a different look. We're just trying to carry the momentum that we have from last year. Understanding getting through an 82-game season is the challenge for every team, but especially a veteran team. But the way that we finished and the record that we had, and obviously before I got hurt during the second round, like, we were a relevant threat, and I think we've gotten better. It's tough to lose Loon, like it was a big deal, knowing what he meant to our franchise. But we have a lot of pieces that are going to have an opportunity to take that next step. And like every NBA season, I said the same thing last year, probably at the podium right here. We started 12-3, and then all hell broke loose for a good couple months. So, like, you can only do what you can to control just your mentality going into the year. And I think it's really optimistic and positive around here, and that's how it should be.
I know you mentioned, once Kuminga gets here, you expect him to be kind of locked in. But this has obviously already been a big offseason distraction. There's almost an inevitability it's going to bleed into once he gets back. How concerned are you just, about the overall distraction of the situation?
I don't frame it like that. I think he's going to get asked questions. To your point, you're asking questions. Everybody's going to ask questions about it. But what happens when I leave this microphone and we go in the locker room and us players talk, like, that's going to be the make or break of how we kind of move into the year with the right frame of mind. So the good news is you've been around long enough. Me, Draymond, Jimmy, we've all been around long enough to know how to separate the business of it to the basketball of it. And those are two totally different areas. So our job is to focus on the basketball part and not let it become something that gets in the way of how we approach every day.
With that said, how unique of an offseason has this been? Like, just that whole situation. I'm sure you've been through many a teammates trying to get paid, but I don't think we've ever been in anything like this. Does this feel like a unique situation?
I think everything we do around here is unique, for sure. So it kind of adds to that journey. Us being realistically championship relevant for this long is unique. Us trying to maintain that for as long as we have is unique, and JK's situation is unique. Me being in my position where I'm at in my stage of my career is unique. Like, the whole deal is just it's you got to take the good with the chaos as well of it, because it is kind of unprecedented. So keeps me going, because it keeps everything, kind of front and center on trying to, again, focus on winning. Like, we've done a really good job of that over the years, and want to keep doing it.
Some of us have talked a lot about, like, the age of the top guys. Mostly Nick Friedel brings it up. But especially with how last year ended, how cognizant or worried are you about you guys having to play a really heavy load to get to the postseason and then do the postseason thing. Is this something that you have to manage or pay attention to, considering you guys are Nick Friedell's age?
You gotta pay attention to it for sure. Acknowledge what makes your team, what character it has to obviously play. Have the expectation that we're gonna be capable of beating everybody and anybody on any given night. But to your point, the endurance of 82. I think last year the biggest thing was we don't want to be in a position where you're chasing down the stretch of the season. Like, if you could at all be in control of that, where the last 2 months, even though we had a great record, it felt like every game was a playoff game for 2 straight months, and then you transition into a very tough 7-game series, and then you're 48 hours from a round 2, game 1. Like, it was a very condensed, high level of basketball. And so we want to be able to try to get through the 82 with a little bit more of a ability to kind of control the ebbs and flows of it. How we get there, like, we'll figure it out.
Hello, Stephen. So this summer, it's your first time bringing the Curry camp to China, and there are a lot of young players from Korea, Japan, and China. And what potential you saw on those young kids?
More than like specific potential of specific kids, just the idea of basketball at a high level around the world is continuing to grow. The skill level is, and the excitement around the game is really special, and I was happy to kind of experience that in Chongqing this year and have something that I've done here in the States for a very long time with the Curry camp and bring it over there. So basketball's at an all-time high, not only from an awareness and fandom perspective, from kids who are playing and really taking it seriously and working on their game. So it's great to see.
Steph, hey, in terms of your off season, you talked about the high level, condensed high level basketball you played. How long did it take for the frustration of the way it ended to kind of go away for you? And also, how was this off season? Last summer you played a lot of very intense basketball. Was this a more rejuvenating or relaxing offseason after that disappointment?
I don't think I'm over that disappointment, because you always wonder, what if, like, had I not gotten hurt, had we won one more game in that second round to give me a chance to come back, had we not been chasing the last 2 months. Like, you always, as a player, you always think about that type of stuff. So it motivates you to understand what you can do this year to put yourself in a better position. So I think I'm still carrying that, which is, I think, healthy and a good thing. And this summer it's always chaos around my schedule and all that, but it was really fun and rejuvenating to be able to work in your game, do the stuff that I want to do and need to do off the court. I have 4 kids running around, so it's crazy. And just enjoying myself, but also looking forward to today and this new year, because I know I don't have many more in front of me in that respect. So I'm excited to give everything I got to what's in front of me this year.
To go back to the idea of separating basketball and business, that is like something that's pretty relevant to Jonathan right now. When his agent comes out and says, if we get the contract we want, we'll be committed to doing everything we can to win a championship. What is your reaction to something like that and the idea of like conditional commitment?
I only listen to my teammate. I don't listen to agents or anybody who's speaking on behalf. Like, I hear that from JK.
What have you heard from JK?
He'll be committed when he gets here. I just know from man to man, he doesn't want to have to be in the way of anything. So let that situation play out. He can speak for himself.
Thank you.
Hey Moses, just how does your over here? How's your thumb feel, and just what's your summer been like?
It's been good. My thumb feels good. Got the work done early on, so I had a whole summer to recover and get back to ball. So yeah, I'm in a good place.
And what have you been up to this summer?
I traveled early on a lot. I went to London, Morocco, the land of Buddy Hield in Bahamas. My cousin had a wedding in the DR, so it was a lot of traveling, and then working out in LA.
Moses over here. You guys have said this since the end of last series, and Steph just said it. Just the confidence level, knowing what could have happened last year if Steph doesn't have the hamstring or if other things happen. What's the level? Is that level of confidence maintained? What's your sense? Is this a team capable of winning a championship, knowing what happened last year?
Yeah. I think this is a team capable of winning a championship. I think we saw that. Proved it to ourselves and everybody else last year. So just building off of where we left off, and we'll see where it goes.
How is the vibe different with Jimmy here from the start, and what was the vibe like at the camp or the gathering in San Diego? I guess I assume you were part of that.
Yeah, it was really good. It's like just being on the team. Everybody come together. When training camp started, the first that's when you start and work. So it's cool to get around each other, get comfortable before you go to work. And I feel like that's what that was. It was a good time.
Getting through a full 82 regular season game can be a challenge for a veteran team like this. How much responsibility do you and the other young players kind of take on knowing that?
It's a job, it's a job to step in and carry your load. So that's what it is. If energy is lacking, no matter what they say, it's a team. So with a team, anything that anybody lacks is what other people got to step up. So, but I mean, our guys, they not elderly or nothing. They hold their own. They can do theirs too. So.
Moses right here. Zach Green, 95.7 The Game. You and Draymond did some runs this summer. What was that like? What was the intensity like? What'd you learn?
Yeah, it was cool. That was in LA. I was just working. I was working out. Chris Johnson had some runs, and Draymond came through, so it was cool. And then he came through Little Rock too. So I spent a lot of time with Dre this summer.
Moses, you just mentioned you were in San Diego with your teammates for that pre-training camp event, whatever you want to call it. But there's one notable absence, and that's your 21 draft classmate, Jonathan Kuminga. Are you guys discussing this? Is the qualifying offer, if you don't mind describing your sentiments in regards to your teammate not being here today?
Yeah, I mean, it's the other side of basketball, being the business of it. It's kind of personal to an extent. That's not really on me to get into and to discuss. But so, yeah, I mean, when he gets here, I'm sure he'll be the JK that I know him to be. So I look forward to that.
Hey, Moses, good seeing you back here. Given that what Cyrus was mentioning, you guys were part of the same draft class. You're another year in. What are your own expectations this year as to how much playing time you'll get and how much playing time you want? Because I'm sure you want to be playing more than you have in the past few years.
Just going in every year it's a journey. It's you're figuring out. You get what you can. So just going in, just trying to add what I can to the team and be a part of winning. So just hope that contribution is more than less.
Moses, how would you say that your role changed when Jimmy Butler arrived here, and how do you feed off of that going forward, having an entire training camp, preseason, et cetera, with him?
Yeah, I like it. I like kind of the juxtaposition of Steph and Jimmy. Steph plays fast, up and down, and then Jimmy slows it down, use the whole shot clock. So I just like them being out there together, and then just my role being able to play off of the both of them, and it gives it some diversity.
Hey, Moses. Kenza Fukuda with Clutch Points. You were named to the National Basketball Players Association's Foundation Board of Directors. Just wondering what that role has been like this summer.
Yeah, it's been cool. First time being on the board, so just kind of being able to just first couple meetings or whatever, just be a fly on the wall and see how stuff runs, see how stuff goes, and then contribute when the time presents itself.
Moses, you came into the league as a guard, but last year you played a lot at the 4. I'm just wondering from you, what are the differences of that? I mean, how different is that for you, and what do you have to change about your game to be in that role? Because you were, at the 4 quite a bit last year.
I think I play everything. I was guard and point guard. So I think you're a basketball player at this point in the NBA. It's pretty much everybody plays a lot of positionless basketball. Nobody more than the Golden State Warriors. So, I never even feel like I'm in a different position, no matter where I am on the lineup on the court.
So you don't have to do anything body-wise, physique-wise to be able to handle being up front?
No, I don't think so. I think it's more technique. Draymond plays the 5, and so I think just using some of his strategy if I am in the low situation, but 4 is on the perimeter too. So, it's just read and react.
You've watched Steph do his conditioning stuff for 4 years now almost, and so what do you take from what he does, and what do you see from what he does, and how does it hit you watching him work?
Yeah, I really like something that he does, especially in preseason when we playing scrimmages up and down. Like he doesn't sub out a lot of times, and everybody else is like this group, it's the next group. You get time off, but he'll stay on, and I like just seeing that it's intentional, trying to build that resilience, and just his level of play doesn't drop off either. So I just see he's like using those games to condition, which is a cool mindset, and as well as his workouts and his pace. In his drill work and everything is cool to watch.
Hey, Moses, Sam Gordon, San Francisco Chronicle. Any particular elements of your skill set that you focused on this summer developing?
Yes, worked a lot of like just playing in the pocket. That's something that I just making decisions in the pocket. Something that I've been working on, as well as ball handling, footwork, and some shooting.
Thank you. Appreciate
Hey, Trace. I'm sorry if people have asked you this before, but I'm curious, given your dad is a legend as an NBA player, what's your relationship with him? If you don't mind describing that.
No, you're fine. I have a great relationship with my dad. He's taught me a lot of things on and off the court, but me and his relationship are great. Obviously, he played in this league for 16 seasons, and so he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. So having that to look at and in my corner like that, stuff of that nature is great.
What did you learn through experiencing the playoffs for the first time, and how eager are you to get back?
The playoffs is a different beast. It's a lot of fun. Both teams bring a lot of energy. It's different. It's a different style of basketball. Every possession matters. Every play matters, and we're eager to get back there. I know everyone's hungry. So,
How do you just kind of look back at your last season, starting out of the rotation, back in by the playoffs, and just kind of what that taught you?
it's always being ready. It's the same thing that happened my rookie season. I didn't play a lot to start the year, went to the G League, came back up, started some games. Draymond came back, was out of the rotation. Then at the end of the season, started again. And so at the end of the day, coach is going to just throw you in at any given moment. So you just always got to be ready and rely on your craft.
Trace, over here. Spies say that you did some things over the summer to work on your skill set and conditioning and stuff. But how would you describe your work over the summer?
I had a great summer. Reset, refocused. But yeah, conditioning was the main thing. In my exit meeting, me and coach talked about that. I ended the season probably around 265, so I was heavier. And now I'm probably back down to in between 245, 250. So just getting a lot of running. And so got to play above the rim, be ready to go.
How did you do that?
Just a lot of skills, working on my game every day. Probably went 6 days a week, just focusing on basketball, focusing on skill, focusing on running, cardio, stuff of that nature. So,
is the jump hook coming along?
The jump hook is coming along. It's always been there, but she was a little rusty, so I had to dust her off.
Trace, how would you describe sort of what you've learned about Jimmy? What you know now that you didn't know before he became your teammate, and how impactful you expect his presence to be from the start as opposed to arriving mid-season?
Yeah, I think Jimmy Jimmy's a character first and foremost, but he's someone that's always in your corner. He's a great vet. He's a great friend. But at the end of the day, I think he gets kind of that Draymond persona where if you're not on his team, you really don't know. It's kind of murky. But once he's in your locker room, he's connected and he's doing what he does. He's a great person to be around, and he's a great teammate.
Trace, does playing with all these old guys make you rethink how long you can play? Did you have an idea of how long your career will last, and now you're thinking maybe 40?
Yeah, I'm going to take it 1 year at a time. But some of these guys, the stuff that they're doing at 35, 36, 37, 38, it's unreal. So we just got to take it 1 year at a time, and hopefully I can play half as long as they do.
Hey, Trace. Back here. Obviously, it's Kevon Looney's not here anymore, and you guys were close and meant a lot to the Warriors. Can you talk about sort of how he helped you and how you guys are going to carry forward without him?
Yeah, Loon, he was a great vet. He taught me a lot just about the system, defending, how to get Steph open, stuff of that nature. But at the end of the day, he's one of my friends. We went to Chapel together. He's the one that brought me into Chapel, and I'm going to miss him, and I hope he does really, really well with the Pelicans. And I know he's back reunited with JP, so that's good for him.
Well, Trace back here. You're talking about, you marvel at the fact that you got some teammates that are, still able to be very, very productive. Given that, though, do you feel that your window of opportunity is kind of closing because those guys are getting older, but then at the same time, maybe it's time for guys like you and Moses and assuming JK to develop into your own and kind of take over the team?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still Steph Curry's team. Whatever we need to do to help Steph win, that's what we're going to do. Coach is always about winning. He's always about helping Steph because we know if Steph does what he does, the likelihood of winning is very, very high. And so we just got to continue to listen to what Coach says, and I think we'll be fine.
Thank you. Yep, thank you.
I think anytime a teammate's not here, it sucks. And then obviously, not having multiple here due to the situation, it's unfortunate because I think, media days, it marks the start of something. It marks the start of another NBA season. For me, this is my 14th one. Like, it never gets old. It's kind of that stamp of like, all right, it's about to get real, And so I think everyone deserves the opportunity to feel that, including him. Like, he'll look back on this and, I walk in and, you're like, yo, what media day is this for you? And you'll kind of always have that, that little asterisk in your mind of like, oh, man, I missed one, And so I think it sucks for all those guys involved. Like I said, including JK. Like, you don't get the opportunity to start your thing how you normally start your thing. And saying that, we all understand the situation. He's got to do what he's got to do for himself. This is a business, and that's where I think you have to always understand, like, it's unfortunate when the business side get in front of things, but nonetheless, it is a business, and you can't ignore that side of things. And so hopefully none of them miss too much time, and they'll be here pretty soon, hopefully including him. We want him here. But, yeah, I think for anyone involved, like, it doesn't feel good. Like, you want to get in your rhythm and get in your flow and kind of do your thing. And so I feel for all those guys involved, like, including JK.
How will this not be a distraction?
Well, I don't think anyone's winning a championship in the first few days of practice. It'll be a distraction. We won't have as many guys, and we'll be tired as hell going through practice. That'll be a distraction, and that'll suck because as a vet, you usually can kind of slide to the back like, yo, let them guys go and get a couple more reps. You don't kind of get that privilege. So that will suck. But as far as like it being a distraction, I don't expect this to go on too much longer. But like, you have injuries during the season. You must go on with the guys that you have. You have different situations. People have kids. People do this thing. That thing happens. Family members get sick. you get sick. Like, just different things happen throughout the season, and you must go on. It's no different right now.
Draymond, you obviously know Jonathan. You talked to him. Do you think he still wants to be here?
I think anyone should want to be in the franchise that they started in. And so do I think he still wants to be here? I do think he still wants to be here. And he said that to me, that he still wants to be here. When you're still with the franchise that drafted you, I don't care what has happened. You don't just throw that in the middle of the ring and say, hey, somebody else go take it, because you never get it back. Once you move on to the next franchise, I'm thankful. I'm going into year 14 with the same. I've never had to experience that, but I've seen people go through it. It's never the same. And I know this business. It will never be the same. So I know he still wants to be here. And I think anyone should still want to be with the franchise that drafted them if you can, because once you leave that place, it's just different.
Dre, if you make the all-defensive team this year, it'd be your 10th selection of your career. You'd be one of 6 players in league history to accomplish that feat. What would that milestone mean to you?
It means the world to me. That's my motivation, to go and try to make another all-defensive team and join that list. It's an amazing list. All first ballot Hall of Famers, and so to try to put myself in my name in the hat with those guys. Like, anytime you can put your name next to guys like that, you're talking Kobe, Tim, like K. There it is, double R. Like those names, and I can put my little name next to that. That'd be a dream come true. So that is definitely a motivating factor for me this year for sure.
Dre, last year you guys went 23-7 and then 7-game series in the playoffs. Like, in hindsight, how much of a grind was that, and how much did you feel it? And knowing you now got 82 with the team, is that a concern? Like, maybe wearing you guys down too soon, or how do you preserve yourself for the playoffs?
I think, man, in all honesty, it was crazy. We were playing playoff basketball for 3.5 months, and that's tough to do. Plus the playoff basketball we played. That's just hard for anybody. I don't care if you're 37 or 27. You got to play playoff basketball that long. It's tough. And we had to. We had no other choice. We wanted to give ourselves an opportunity to win a championship. We did that. I think it caught up to us in the end. I'm actually happy to have an 82-game season and not a 35-game season, because now you could go about the season the right way. We don't dig ourselves that huge hole, and we're not playing playoff basketball for 3.5 months, and so this gives us an opportunity to not dig ourselves in a ditch and then try to fight and claw our way back out. And that's how you manage an 82-game schedule. You do what you got to do. You take care of business, and then you allow yourself to get through the season however it is that you need to get through the season. But when you got to play through injuries and, play through sickness and play through this thing and that thing, because every game matters in February, it's a lot to ask. Like I said, I don't care how old the team is. That's a lot to ask. And so we know that. Like I said, I think it definitely caught up to us at the end. But I worry very little about an 82-game season, because it gives us an opportunity to now have our team set and go about the season the right way, and give ourselves a grace and the cushion that you need in order to be successful in the end.
Steve said at exit interviews that he wanted you to play a little bit less center, maybe more power forward. For you, what is the difference difference on your body between playing center and playing power forward at this stage of your career?
When you're at center, you're involved in every single play, because you're anchoring the defense. You are the last line of everything. So there is no break. Like, you are at the forefront of everything, and that can be a lot at times. I'm never one that's going to turn the opportunity down, because if you turn the opportunity down, you maybe turn the opportunity at minutes down. And I still love to play this game and compete and help my team win. In an ideal world, I would love to play more 4. It's my natural position. That's how I became who I've become at that position. But nothing's changed about me at this point. I will always be willing to do whatever the team needs me to do, and whatever shoe that I need to wear, if it fits, I'm going to wear it. And so in an ideal world, yeah, I'll play more 4. Am I allowed to say, theoretically having Al Horford can help with that. So, yeah, it was, it's tough, but playing in the NBA is tough, and living everyday life for a lot of people is tough. So I'll take my tough.
Draymond, how much have you, Steph, and Jimmy talked about the opportunity in front of you to play together from the start of a season, as opposed to, as you said, last year was kind of on the fly? And sort of related question to that is, what kind of tone Jimmy set with the mini camp, or whatever you want to call it, in San Diego?
I think, we're all looking forward to it. Just the opportunity to start the beginning, to have a training camp together. You can implement more things. You can build an identity from the beginning. Defensive terminology and all the things that you build starting in training camp, we're able to do that this year. And so we're really looking forward to that opportunity. The mini camp in San Diego was great. Number one, just to be with the guys. Spend some time together. Jimmy was an incredible host. He has the wine cellar of an emperor. It's amazing. But he, and just setting the tone and getting everybody together and what it is that we're setting out to do, and that kind of marks the beginning of it, And so you can always look back to that experience of times get hard on the court, and you can look back to those times of like, man, when we were in San Diego and we were doing this and bonding like that, and you draw from those moments. So it was a huge moment for this team. We had a great time together. We accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Everybody got out healthy. So it was good, really good for us.
You said building an identity. How is that identity going to be different, do you think, this year than it was last year?
I think last year we were just kind of making it work. Doing whatever we needed to do to make it work. This year, you get a chance to see what's best, and I think, I just think that'll take us much further than just finding one thing that works and like, all right, we're just going to do this, as opposed to you build towards that. You try things, they don't work, you move on from it. You may try this one thing and it's working, and you may try the next thing and like, oh, that works too. Like, now we got 2 things that work, and so I don't know that I do think the identity will be different than last year, because I think every team's identity changed year to year. It's never really the same. But like I said, I think we just got a chance to build and grow that, as opposed to doing whatever we need to do from the start to like win, like, and can't try anything because you don't have the room to try it.
Draymond, veterans always say that as you get to your mid-30s in the NBA, you realize your body ain't the same as it was when you were 22 or whatever, so you make up for it mentally and in other ways. I'm wondering what you've been through physically in your career, how you make up for maybe what your body can't do now that you could do when you were 22. How do you balance that?
I think, ironically, at 22, there were some things that my body couldn't do that I can do now, because it's just all the work you put in and the things that you learn and the strengthening that you do, And so, I think there's a little give and take there. But, I'm always confident that I can win mentally, and that's what you rely more on. And when you realize, oh, man, I can't quite do that thing, but if I'm honest with you, Monty, I don't think I've reached a point to where my body can't do it. Like, I haven't quite had that moment where it's like, my eyes were bigger than my heart or my goals or my legs. Like, I saw it and couldn't quite get there. I haven't really experienced that yet. So I'm gonna knock on some wood right now and hope that it don't come this year. But I feel great. Am I the same person that I was at 27? No. And thank God I'm not. I've learned a lot since 27. So, there's things that change, but, you decrease in one area, you got to grow in another. And I think that's always the constant challenge, and the challenge is what keeps you going and keep you striving to do it again and again and again.
I know you said, Jonathan has voiced to you that he wants to be back, but obviously some of the boiling points of these negotiations have, been on trades. Them seeking signing trades, y'all trying to sign him to contracts that seem pretty obvious to potentially use him as a trade piece. How do you view his future here and what he can still be within this franchise, especially knowing, what some of this business that has been going on?
We playing a game that is covered by media 24/7, and when you're in something that's covered 24/7, A, it's not always accurate, and B, it doesn't always play out even the way people think it's going to play out. And so what can he still be here? Exactly what he set out to be here, because I know for certain he has the full support of his teammates to be that. And I don't think this franchise or organization would still be doing what they're trying to do if they didn't believe that, And so I saw Kevon Looney, fourth-year option, get declined, and he spent 10 years here. So contract negotiations are never pretty. My first contract negotiation, I thought I was about to get a contract, and they told me no, and I had to reach out to another team. And then they showed interest and got the contract done. 2 years ago, I thought it was over. I thought I was out of here. Here I am going into year 14. So, just because a contract negotiation didn't go beautifully does not mean it's the end of the road. And a contract negotiation that went beautifully don't mean it's the beginning. It could be the end. So I take every day for what it's worth in this league. That's what I try to tell my young guys. That's my message to Jonathan. A contract negotiation is a contract negotiation for a reason. It's one side trying to get the better of the other side. And when you're trying to do that, just like in a basketball game, tempers flare, things get heated. Sometimes people get kicked out of the room. Sometimes people walk back in the room. That's just how it goes. And so this isn't the first contract negotiation that's went longer than everybody expected and that went different than the team wanted it to go or much different than the player wanted to go. It ain't the first one, and it's by far the last one. We will see this over and over again in this league because ultimately it's a business and you're trying to put your business in the best position to be successful. And we are individuals that when you go to the negotiation table, you don't go to the negotiation table with the team. You go to the negotiation table with your team, by yourself, meaning you got to try to do what's best for you. And that's what Jonathan is doing, and that's what he deserves to do. You work your tail off to get to the NBA. You earn the right to go negotiate. If he didn't earn the right to go negotiate, they still wouldn't be negotiating with him. And he wouldn't be negotiating with them. So these things happen. You move on from them. He signed a contract, come out and play great. Everybody will forget and move on. That's the world we live in. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. No doubt. No problem.
How did it feel to sign that NBA contract?
It felt pretty good. Obviously, there's more work to do, but it's something that you dream of, just getting to this point. yeah, it's definitely special.
What has your off season looked at like? What have you been working on with your game this summer?
I mean, it's been a lot of conditioning. I've been up here for a little while now, so just been playing with the guys and just trying to get acclimated on what they like to do here. In college, I played at a slower pace because I went to Houston, more of a defensive school. So just getting adjusted to the pace that you have to play with here has been the main thing. So just getting in shape and getting my body prepared for what's to come has been the main thing.
Hi, LJ, Ron Krejcik from the San Francisco Chronicle. You said you're used to a slower pace. How would you describe the pace with Steph on the court? I imagine it's a different world.
Nah, it's definitely a different pace. I've only got to practice with him one time. He popped in there one day and scrimmaged with us, but he doesn't stop moving without the ball. So just being able to see that has helped me because I feel like I'm a visual learner. So just getting out there and watching him do what he does, I feel like I could kind of implement that in my game. But you got to, like I said, you have to be in great shape to be able to do that. So that's something I've been working on a lot.
Anything else? Great, thank you. Appreciate it. What was free agency like for you this summer?
A whirlwind, as it is for everybody. But had a goal in mind to get back here to be with the team and kind of finish what we built last year. Had some opportunities in a couple other places, but just felt like, the relationship that I built here, the way that we play, playing for Steve, playing with high IQ guys around me, too good to pass up on.
Pat, after the postseason and you getting to play at that level, how does that impact your offseason and what you feel like you can do in this league?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. Last year my role was kind of a spark plug. Team needed some energy. We're down 10, 15, 20, whatever it might be. I felt like I was kind of a go-to guy to change the energy of the game that way. The goal for me this offseason was to just get in the gym and knock the three ball down at a really high level. I think that makes me more versatile, allows me to play with a handful of different lineups. And so the offseason was a grind, but definitely full belief that building off of what I did last year is a real possibility.
Pat, I'm curious, did you have a chance to upgrade your Honda Civic with your new contract?
It's a Honda CRV, but
CRV?
I'm not materialistic, brother. It's I got the tags renewed and I'm good to go. So, yeah.
Gary said earlier that he thinks you would be a really good skateboarder. Wonder if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I skated a little bit growing up, but I played every sport growing up, man. So really excited about jumping on board with Gary and the team over there to help them navigate some of the SBA stuff. So big shout out to that team over there. Keep an eye out, early fall and heading into the spring. Should be cool.
Pat, you've been around Steph long enough to see what his workout regimen looks like and what he puts his body through. What do you take from watching him work?
Yeah, I think the thing that I say the most is that he works the way that he plays. A lot of guys you'll see come in, get spot shots, maybe do a little ball handling, but everything that he does, it has a purpose. So, you see him run probably 20 miles a game, but it's the way he trains. So just super meticulous in his routine. We don't start shoot around until he's done his routine, obviously for good reason, but just really detail oriented, and it seems to work.
Do you think you could keep up?
Athletically, yeah. Maybe not shot for shot, but athletically, yeah.
Any good Jimmy Butler stories from the summer or did you go to the mini camp, I assume, in San Diego? What was that like?
Spent some time with Jimmy this summer. just great energy, ultimate competitor. Surrounds himself with the same people I surround myself with. No real stories to be told, but just an all-time great competitor and someone I enjoy competing with. Yeah, I think his. Yeah, I mean, I think I've always watched him play, so wouldn't say it was anything new, but just in person, you really see the poise, the way he takes care of the basketball, doesn't turn the ball over. Obviously, I knew of him as a competitor just from watching NBA playoffs and seeing him take some teams that were maybe a little bit under-talented to a higher level. I knew that of him, but to watch him come in and really be under control, poised, was obviously a huge factor for us last year. We had a real turnover problem early on in the year, and as we got him later in the year, it became pretty obvious that with him on the floor, we weren't going to turn the ball over. So I think that's something our staff is probably pretty fired up about.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
What's up, Nicholas?
Hey, Jimmy. Everyone's been talking about the San Diego camp and
who's everybody?
All your teammates.
Draymond.
Draymond and all your teammates are very impressed by the Butler house. Let's say. I think Draymond mentioned. Did Draymond mention the Wayne Cellar? But
Definitely
yeah,
Draymond.
Just what have you done this sort of thing before with teammates, and what kind of initiated this in your mind?
Maybe a couple times, but not at my own home. And I just wanted to be around my guys. I got the opportunity to see a lot of them over the summer, or to go where they are from. Maybe not see them, but see people that I know from their neck of the woods. So it's very important to me to welcome those are my guys. It's like my family into my home, have a good time, and let them in a little bit of my life.
The Kuminga situation obviously looms over.
You would, of course.
What's your kind of view on that situation and the need to get it solved? And
like I tell everybody that ask me, not even in the media, just random people, my friends, I'm not in all of that. I hope it gets resolved. I know what that is like. I've been in this league going on 15 years now, and it will get handled. And I know that both sides will be happy in the end. But, we all love JK. We all want JK to be happy. We all want this organization to be happy. So we're going to let JK and his organization figure it out.
Hey, Jimmy, your pop-up with Big Face was really successful in July, and you also just announced your collab with Aloe. So just wondering, are you planning to bring Big Face back in the Bay,
Yeah.
now that you started the full
In
year?
a major way. I'm hoping to open up. Don't quote me on the exact date. A shop here, maybe like February, March, something like that. But Big Face will be here permanently. I couldn't be more excited. So y'all come spend y'all's money.
Jimmy, what would you say is the prize of your wine cellar? What's the prize bottle?
What's the prize bottle?
Yeah, what's the one you're most proud of, I guess?
I do have a little bit of wine. I do, but
of an emperor, we were told.
Yeah, I got a little bit. I think there are just some special bottles in there that were created only for my children, of some of the best wines in the world, and I think those mean the most to me because they went out of their way to gift these bottles of wine with my kids' names on them and their birth dates. So those mean the most to me. There are a lot of stuff, and if you were to ask Draymond, he probably would pick some other bottles because obviously my offspring isn't his offspring, but those bottles with my kids' name on them mean the world to me.
He didn't grab a couple?
Cannot grab those. But no, he definitely grabbed some bottles. If he didn't tell you, oh my gosh. Yeah. Very pricey. Likey.
Jimmy, you've obviously had some kind of legendary end of year, like where you really gave it all you had, right? I'm thinking of the pandemic. How do you respond from a season like that? You guys went hard for 3 months, and now you're back at it again.
Yeah.
What's your plan for dealing with that?
I get to do this thing from day one, be with the guys from day one, and do what we started out to do from the very beginning. I'm super hyped. I'm super excited. I got to train with my guys this summer. I got to talk with all the guys. I see what they've been doing. I see how they've been working. So I'm glad that I get to be here from this media day on up.
I know, obviously, he's not signed yet. They haven't announced it yet, so we're not supposed to specifically ask.
What you gonna ask me for?
Theoretically, the way Draymond answered it, you've gone up against Al Horford a lot.
Who is that?
Yeah. What does a player who might look like him and play like him add to this roster?
Well, if there was I think he's Dominican, this player you're talking about. If there was a Dominican basketball player, 7 feet, something like that, can shoot the three, can pass, used to play in Boston for 9 seasons, played in Philly. Anyways, if we were talking about a guy like that, he's won it, which I really, really, really respect. And he's been in this league for a long time for a reason. Elite defender, can make shots, plays basketball the right way, super smart, and more than anything, he wins. So wherever that guy ends up, I know he's gonna help that team.
Jamie, how much have you and Draymond and Steph specifically talked about, as you said, to go be with your guys from day one, and how much opportunity that is, and how much urgency there is, given where you are in your careers?
All the time. But we also realize there's not enough talking in the world. We're going to have to go out there and produce and get it done. We know that. But we're just so joyful. We're so happy to be able to compete with one another, and do what they set out to do what I want to do for the first time, win a championship. And I smile knowing that it's a really great chance for us.
Jimmy, some of us lived vicariously through your Instagram account this summer, and I was just wondering what your highlights were.
My highlights? Well, I pride myself. I probably should do a better job. I try to go support my friends as often as I can. If they're a professional, tennis player, if they're a musician, if they're an actor, actress, I try to go live a couple days in their life, in their world. So I got to go all over the world doing that. But I would say my biggest highlight was, I got to take my kids to Marbella, Spain, and just seeing the joy on their faces. There's nothing like it. I've traveled a lot of places, and I was actually able to take my kids to Spain, and it was just different. Out of everything else I've done, spending my time with them in Spain was elite. How many trips to Paris? I went twice. Twice, yeah. Really good.
How valuable was that experience playing with Steph in a lot of high-pressure games last year, and what can you take from that and carry into this season?
I mean, you don't even need to be on this team to understand the impact that he has on the game, the impact he's had on the game and on the league as a whole. But like I always say, you always have a chance when Steph is on your team. So to be able to run alongside him, Draymond, and the crew that we have, I think we're going to be in really, really, really good shape. I'm excited. We get to practice here soon. We get to compete. And I don't think we're going to catch anybody by surprise. I think everybody knows what we're capable of, so we're ready to rock.
Jimmy, to follow up on that, it hadn't been a year yet, but you're going into your second kind of wave now here. How have you liked it out here now that you're more into the fold?
Yeah, I love it here. This organization is top of the charts. They do everything the right way. They take care of you. They take care of your people. The way that they communicate, the way they allow you to be yourself, go out there and hoop, make sure you're doing everything you can to make it on the floor. It's incredible. I will get to see more of the city off the floor here now. When I got here in February, it was like we were always on the road, or it was lock in, it's playoff time. So I do get to go enjoy some food. I get to stop and get coffee every morning at a different coffee shop on my way into work. I'm excited about that. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll go take a walk by the water or something.
You had the hard fall in the Houston series. Where were you at physically kind of by the end of that playoff run, and did it impact your summer work, and how are you feeling now?
No, I got my rest from that fall, body recovered, and then got right back to it. I love the grind. And I would tell everybody, that's how I know I can play for a while longer because I love to train and I still love to wake up and do what I do in the morning in the off season. When I say that, when that gets old to me, that's when I'm like, no, I can't do this anymore. So as soon as my body recovered the way it needed to, I was back at it.
How communicative were you with Mike this summer? And I know the roster in some ways is theoretical right now, but how much do you like what is going to be done in the next few days?
Hypothetically speaking, I like it. I love it. I talked to Mike a lot throughout the summer, some about basketball, but more so about where's your mind, like travel, how's the families, like stuff like that. But that's what I love most about here. It's not always about basketball because basketball shouldn't be the most important thing. They make sure that, kids are good, kids in school, can we help you with anything? And that's just going to be another reason why we all lock in and win this championship.
Jimmy, what is a full season with Buddy going to be like for you?
See, I was actually hoping nobody asked me about that guy. I don't know. I spent way too much time with Buddy this offseason, way too much. I posted on social, so it made the world seem to actually like that guy. There'll be some times, some tears, some joyfulness, a little bit of everything. Some Rosetta Stone. Lord knows I can't understand a word he says. But we love Buddy. We definitely love Buddy.
Jimmy, your other ventures you mentioned with Big Face Coffee. These guys are the sponsor here, but would you think you'd be able to sell your coffee here at Chase? And then what makes your coffee so much better than everybody else's?
Now, I'm not going to say my coffee is so much better than everybody else's. I can only speak from experience. Selling coffee here, I don't know. If that's your sponsor, I highly doubt that that's going to happen. I know the way business works. But, I just think I spend a lot of time doing this coffee thing. I go and I visit these farms and I get to pick them myself. I know the profiles at which I roast my coffee. There's a story behind every single coffee that I've ever had, that I've done this summer, the collabs that I've done, and I enjoy it. I study it. That's what I geek out on, that and wine, as Draymond would tell you. But I love coffee. It's a way for me to humanize myself. I get to go sit in local coffee shops, and I don't have to be a Golden State Warriors player, even though that is absolutely amazing. I just get to be a coffee lover. I get to ask, how many kids do you have? Where'd you go on vacation? Like, I get to be a little bit more of a human.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm Francis. I also worked in Philly and Miami, so cool to see you in another city. Almost all of your teammates talked about what it was like having you from day one this time, obviously setting the tone with that fun mini camp that everyone's talking about in San Diego. What was it like for you personally to set the tone for that, host that? And speaking of hypotheticals, theoreticals, will we ever see emo Jimmy again?
We'll answer the second part first. Emo Jimmy, you might see him, but you won't see him up here for a media day. Buddy, for some odd reason, loves Emo Jimmy. Why? Who knows? So for his sake, I think we'll show up to practice one day, and then we'll go back and get him out of here. As far as the little mini camp went, it was just fun. It was just let everybody know, like, man, I appreciate everybody. I want this to be a good time that we have. Yeah, we got some work in, but it's all about being around one another. It's all about having some fun, knowing this is a long year ahead. It's not going to be all good, but it's damn sure not going to be all bad. So when you look back, be like, yo, look, we still in this thing together, even whenever we're drinking wine in San Diego and lounging by the pool. Just know that everybody's in this thing together. That's what that was.
Jimmy, over here. Draymond has made a living basically being a 6'6" small ball center in many ways. And I'm wondering, as you watch him as an opponent, now as a teammate, what allows him to do what he does, especially on the defensive end at that size?
His heart, where he comes from, how nothing was ever given to him, and how whatever you need him to do, he can do it. Just because he doesn't go out there and take 100 shots doesn't mean that he can't shoot 75, 80, 90 of 100. That's just not what you're asking him to do. You ask him to play the small ball center. You ask him to get 12 assists. You ask him how many blocks you want, how many steals. he does it all. But that's just who he is. He's smart, dog, all heart, and he is who he is because of where he comes from.
Do you think any of that changes as you get older?
Nah, you made like that. No number that you can put on age is going to change that. He going to be like that in every aspect of life, and it's a good thing. In business, he going to be like that. Basketball, like that. As a father, husband, all of that, like that. I knew it. I could just feel the evilness. I can feel it. I knew it. They don't even want to talk to you.
I heard you talking, though.
But did you hear the nice things I said about you?
What did he say about me?
Nothing. That's why you didn't hear them.
Anyway, we're good.
Can y'all wrap this shit up, please?
All right, everybody. Buddy Hield, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Y'all tired of him yet? Jimmy, go. How you guys doing? Good, no questions. Good.
Hey, I got one question. How much of a difference is there having a year of experience in this system? How much more comfortable do you feel playing for the Warriors now?
No, great. That's a good question because I understand having a year under my belt. I understand the way Steve coach, how to understand the execution, how everything goes around here, and just having that year just gives you a little bit of breathing room because you know what to expect now. And first year you just never know what to expect, but now you have an understanding what to expect, and I'm just ready to go, and I'm happy to go for year 2.
Okay, we heard from everyone else.
Big time now. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I
His
like
press
that.
conference is later.
He's big time.
I forgot my question. No, we've heard from everyone else about Jimmy's place in San Diego.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
What are your impressions of it? What were you, assuming you were at the camp?
No, I wasn't there. I didn't get invited.
You didn't get invited. You were not there.
Didn't get invited. I didn't get invited.
Hold out. Just what is Jimmy's presence with this team going into this camp? Obviously, he has this get together. Do you see him kind of emerging as someone who really has an influence of the way this is going to go, personality wise?
First of all, what Jimmy did the last week, this past week was phenomenal. I think that is, first of all, inviting people to your house is always iffy, but shows that he's so welcoming, and him and his people around, and they were all welcoming, and just him hosting the team to his house, beautiful place. The team camaraderie was so great, and shows his leadership, and but it was something to had though, just bring everybody together, and we're just happy for a guy like him, and it was great, man. I never had experienced none of that in my 10 years in the NBA, and I was just happy to be there, and just shows that everybody trusted him, and especially guys like Steph and Dre, they was out there, and it was fun to be around, and I had so much fun with him, and I appreciate it a lot. And just being around him, you can tell like he's more serious about this year, and he's in elite shape, and his body looks great, and he's just ready to show everybody.
Along those same lines, how much did it mean for you to have teammates like Jimmy visit you in the Bahamas and spend some time with you there?
Jimmy didn't visit me in the Bahamas. He lied to y'all. No, it's been great. He's been great, man. It shows that he cares, and just like I said, like having vets like that around you, just their leadership, and I always consider us a little brother in the group, but they didn't have to do some of the things they do for me, and I'm just happy to be around and just learn from them and be a sponge each and every day. And as we go on this year together, just ready to be in the fire with them again.
Did those playoff performances you had, I'm obviously particularly thinking of Game 7 in Houston, does that do anything for you going into the season? I mean, you're a veteran, but those are probably the biggest games of your NBA career.
Yeah, it help build your confidence, of course, and I'm not saying this. I'm saying this humbly, but I think this was probably the best summer I probably shot. Working out, you think oh, you have a bad day shooting the ball, and I can't remember I had one bad day like really shooting the ball because I felt so confident, couldn't wait to get back to that moment. And because how focused and driven I was just to like taste the playoff again. Because I know that if we had everybody healthy, we never know what the outcome would be, but it was like a chance with 30 there, you know?
Jimmy said that the emo Jimmy is your favorite. Why is that? And two, who would you say is the funniest person on the team after you?
After me? No, I just wish he. The reason why he's my favorite because I just wish he like really like just stay like that and wear that same hairstyle to the games and like playing it. You know, it just should have real him. You know, and he really got a whole culture out there. You know, and I really so I hope he just. But he has a whole like what's it called? Like a whole little statue in him in his house with like a little with a emo. Yeah, it looks. I forgot to take a picture of it. You know, funny as a team, I would say Jimmy's funny. Jimmy's funny. Steph, they all Steph is surprisingly funny. It's Draymond, he always talking shit all the time, but he's funny. Man, the whole group is funny, man. It's always like great laughters with our group, you know, especially that table we stand up playing. That's what I miss the most time, sitting at the table with those guys, and we just having great camaraderie, just laughing and having a great time. But they all are funny, though.
Hey, buddy. How has your relationship with Steph kind of evolved since you first got here, and what have you learned from him?
A lot of wisdom, man. He's true professional, the way he carries himself on and off the court, you know, and he's those guys that you can, like you said, when he speaks and the way how he carries himself, you just watch and look at him, you know, you got to be a sponge because he does everything correctly. Like, you know, he's probably one of the best guys I've probably been around. You know, not talking about basketball guys, but really just like in life in general, he's one of those guys. He just never dull move with him, and I'm just learning and trying to be a sponge. And every time I'm going through something or thinking of something, I always go to him or Dre or Jimmy to talk about it. And some reason they always have the correct answer, and I was like, so it's been great.
What's up, buddy? Sam Gore, San Francisco Chronicle. Good to see you again. Plan to play all 82 again this year?
Yes, sir. And that's why we play basketball, to play all 82 again. I prepare myself in the summertime and in the season. My motto is you can always play hurt, you just can't play injured, you know. And I pray to God I don't get injured, but if I'm banged up a little bit, I can pull through. You know, I just love playing basketball. If I was not playing basketball in the NBA, I would try to find every day to go out there and play basketball with some friends or whatever.
But now that you've been around Steph for a full year, how would you describe his conditioning regimen?
I see the other day, he was running up some hills, right? Insane, but you can show us like why he's one of the best in the world. He takes care of his body, and stuff like that really motivates you to even go harder as a player. Because you see a guy like Steph doing stuff like that, and he doesn't really have to do it because he has accomplished so much in his life, and for this game, you know, and he's not slowing down, he's not stopping, and that shows his character and his drive towards the game of basketball, and he takes the game very seriously. And play against today, and I was like, damn, he still moves elite, you know, and he's in great shape, man, and that's hats off to him and his training staff that he has around him because they do a hell of a job keeping him ready.
How would you compare your conditioning to Steph's conditioning?
You know what? I'm a little crazy too. You know, we're in a similar regime. I would say I run the beach. I'm on the track about once or twice a week, running sprints and trying to like keep my body in condition. But it's up there for sure. Easy. Thank you.